wait by the phone. Silence rings loudest when you're alone. How could you wander so far from my heart? Ready all night, here I go. There's a line on the horizon I've gotta see up close. Am I a sinner? Are you a saint? Did I drive us to the edge? See that time too late? Am I just another line on your highway?
Is this recording? All right. Welcome to the Dishmaster.com. We're very professional over here at Brick and Mortar Studios. I did not know that was our intro, but I'm going to roll with it because, well, I'm a genius, quite frankly, and I can improvise. That was a song called, what's the song? Highway Lines? Yeah. By our friend Aaron Barnhart, who recorded it live at Brick and Mortar Studios, where we are broadcasting our Dishmaster. This is our third podcast, would you say?
Yes.
2.5. The first one didn't go live.
Like a quarter.
It just gets better and better, folks, every time.
Yeah, buddy.
Our friend Aaron Barnhart, who you heard in the intro, has a Kickstarter campaign. He's trying to raise $3,500 by when, Rob?
I believe it's May 4th. I could be wrong there.
Okay, May 4th, tentatively.
Help this man out.
I think so.
He's awesome.
Help him. He's 76% of the way done. So just Google Aaron Barnhart Kickstarter and donate to his campaign. All right. Now to the very important news here at the Dishmaster.com. We will be talking to you about all of the most pressing news stories, and by pressing I mean completely irrelevant and nothing that will affect your life in any way, and that's what makes it great. I am joined by my partner in crime, Ms. T Money.
Woo! Hey, everybody.
We call her T. She is my Robin Quivers.
I do my best.
Yeah. Also hot, judging by Rob's drop.
Hey.
That's Rob in the background, the co-founder of Brick and Mortar Studios, who is a sound effect aficionado. He missed his calling in life.
Amen to that.
He should have been employed to make fart sounds for the rest of his life. He would have been very good at it. All right, first on our pop culture week in review list, this is really important. Take a sip of your drink, whatever you're drinking, a deep breath, because we are about to talk about, drum roll please. Okay. Thank you for... I'm not sure what you're supposed to do. Like, at what point you're supposed to come in with the news. All right. The first item on our news list is Christina Aguilera's leotard on The Voice.
Just a mess.
I asked T to take a long, hard look at this leotard.
And it offended me.
You saw this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so last Monday on The Voice, let me just give you a recap of the debacle that occurred. So every week on The Voice, there's 4 judges on this show. It's a reality singing competition. If you're one of the few people who's never seen it, it's doing pretty well in the ratings. There's 4 judges, all of which are famous. Who would you say is the most famous?
As of right now, probably CeeLo and his crazy ass cat.
CeeLo. See, I would say Blake Shelton is the most famous.
I would say his popularity has grown as a result of it.
That's true, but country music singers, I think, are always the most famous because their fan base is so loyal.
Well, yeah, he's the biggest guy there.
You mean...
He's like a man.
Yeah, oh, he's so hot. Let's be serious. Man, he's just so manly, right?
We know how you are about bears.
Oh, I love my bears. All right, so Christina, back to the topic at hand. So every week, one of the judges performs on the results show. Not every week, but when we're blessed with one of their performances, like we were on Monday. So Christina Aguilera comes out to sing her hit song, "Fighter." Remember that song?
Oh, do I?
all right, you know, the whole song is like, you're not going to cheat on me. I don't know. It's a scorned lover song. Anyway, so Christina Aguilera comes out. She walks the plank in front of the judges. So, you know, there's like that runway in front of the judges on the way to the stage. And she's wearing a leotard. Okay, here we go.
With the cowboy hat, right?
Was she wearing a cowboy hat?
I think so. At the beginning, she like threw it into the the audience or something.
So she walks up on this plank wearing a leotard, and I'm just gonna say it. She is too fat to wear a leotard.
Yeah, she's not Beyonce,
right?
She doesn't have those curves.
No, and by the way, let's talk about what curvy means, because I see her in these interviews talk about how she's embracing her curves.
She's not curvy.
No, she's not curvy. What would you call her?
A pear.
Or what? Okay, here's the deal. And, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and I said, you know, I always run my blog posts by her if I think that they're perhaps too offensive. So I wrote her and I said, you know, I'm gonna talk about Christina Aguilera's weight on the Dishmaster, and I want your approval. And she said, well, this is her quote. She said, "I'm fat, you're thin. It needs to go by me." I said, "I know. That's why I'm asking you." So she looks at the video and she says, "Man, she is really fat." I was like, I know, look, here's the deal. I am all about embracing curves, but there has to be a line in the sand about when you can wear a leotard.
Thank you.
She's not curvy, she's overweight. And the other thing about it is curvy to me means that you're born with curves. And Christina Aguilera to me looks like a thin person who gained a lot of weight. And that's why she doesn't look good, you know?
Exactly.
And also, this argument of embracing your curves, well, is there a line in the sand about weight and when you can wear a leotard? Because if there is, I draw it at her weight. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Because for her figure, it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
it does not work.
And if there's no line in the sand about weight, then Adele can come out wearing a leotard, and no one can say anything about that either, right?
Exactly.
I mean, if Adele, let's just assume for argument's sake that Adele did come out wearing a leotard. Do you really think Christina Aguilera would go embrace your curves?
Oh no. She'd be talking shit just like she does with everybody else.
Oh, my God. And she wears those Hervé Leger bandage dresses. You know those dresses?
Yes.
First of all, those dresses are amazing. But for some reason, they've taken on this life form for women who are who are overweight, who wear the bandage dress. And they're like sucked in like this crazy. It's like, all right, guys.
Embrace your curves, ladies, and wear something that will complement your body type.
Yeah, that's flattering.
You should want to wear something that's flattering to yourself.
Who would you say is curvy but looks really hot? Like Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, she wears stuff that's going to flatter the right areas.
Right.
You know?
Right. But it's not just that. I love Jennifer Lopez. No, it's not just that. It's Christina Aguilera's whole look is horrible. Like the hair is horrible.
Yeah.
She's got these.
Listen, I started giving her props. I think it was last week or so when she got the new stylist and the new look was coming out. And I was like, oh, okay, we're growing and changing. Something positive is going to come out of this after all.
Yeah.
And she just
But if you would have seen, I mean, did you see Blake Shelton's face when she tried to lap dance him?
Yes,
I mean, he just
was
looked
horrified.
like, oh my God. And then, you know, the way you know that other people agree with me is that the cameraman, whenever somebody doesn't look good but insists on wearing a bad outfit, the camera always pans away from the full body shot.
Yeah.
So if you watch her performance, the camera is so closed in on her face.
Oh, yeah, the whole time.
The whole time it's just face. You never see the full body. When Beyonce's up there in a leotard, that camera is so
a full body shot.
Full body shot. And that cameraman, first of all, she comes out, walks the plank, and there's this camera shot of her ass and her jiggling around.
Oh, God.
And then immediately the camera pulls away. She goes up on stage, and then the camera is completely cut on her face.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some boob in there, but it's like face and boob, you know?
That's as good as it's going to get. Everything else is just a mess.
I will say this in her defense, though. When you see her singing that song and then the other members of The Voice come out to contend, oh my God, they're bad.
That was horrible.
I think that was almost a mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Christina Aguilera's got this powerhouse, incredible voice. And then these contestants on The Voice come out and sing part of her song. I mean, in fairness, it's not it's not a song that's meant for their voice, so it was bad. But man, they sounded terrible.
Yeah, and I mean, it was one of those things where I feel like the other artists that lead their teams cater to the singers that they have on their team, and they say, in what way can I make sure that they look good too? It felt like she made no effort to do that. Because the best part for me was the choir.
Now you just made a really good point that I didn't even think of. See, she chose a song that made her team look bad.
Yeah.
Whereas the other artists will choose a song that highlights all of their strengths.
Exactly.
And for her, it was all about her. How can I sing my best song where I can look the greatest at the expense of her team members?
Yep.
Oh man, you're so right.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, because everybody knows in the business, because I'm an insider. I am the Dishmaster after all, let's be serious. Everybody knows she's a huge bitch.
Yeah.
It's no secret that she's a huge bitch. And I've heard, I don't know if I mentioned this on the last podcast, but she's got that reverse body dysmorphia where her stylist is always trying to put her in baggier clothes and she refuses.
And she refuses to.
So everything you see with her is her design. It's her look. She just will not bend to other people's, suggestions.
Well,
but I'm glad
people want her to look good. What is so wrong with that?
Yeah, but
she's incapable of letting that happen.
My boyfriend loves my gigantic ass. He loves it. Oh man, I'm glad that you are on board with my philosophy, because I felt bad. It's a delicate balance when you're talking about somebody's weight.
No, it absolutely is. But I mean, if you want to embrace your curves, make yourself look good. Then
yes,
yes, you can have the curves and look amazing.
Absolutely.
It is not a tricky thing to do.
Yeah, and it'd be different if you're picking on someone who didn't come out in a risque leotard. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Speaking of naked celebrities, did you see the Heidi Klum picture in Allure magazine naked?
Yeah, I did.
Oh man! First of all, that was a embrace your body issue.
Yes.
And okay, let me just take a moment.
Break it down.
I don't really think it's fair for Heidi Klum and Deborah Messing, and I forget who the third one was. I'll think about it, to be in the most airbrushed picture on the planet and talk about embracing your body.
Yeah, you mean because they're all runway size
like
the rest of us?
It's ridiculous. And then, did you see the Jamie Lee Curtis photo before and after?
Yes.
Okay, that to me was a very real before and after of what I look like without the airbrushing, because it was her for real body, and she's not a runway model.
Right.
The Heidi Klum one and Deborah Messing, they're in the most amazing pose ever, and it's completely airbrushed, and they and also I'm gonna go to the controversial place and say I think Heidi Klum is past the age where she should be posing like that.
I can agree with that.
It's a little.
I can lean with that.
It's sort of it's sort of like me going to a club wearing a very slutty dress. I feel like that's what you do when you're in college. You dress like a whore and you lap dance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I was actually talking about this with a friend the other day, and how she was saying now that she's in her 30s, there are dresses that she cannot wear anymore.
Yeah, it just looks too... I don't know. I'm not about saying you're no longer sexy if you're of a certain age, but it just felt a little desperate. I didn't like when Jennifer Aniston did it.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
The woman's popped out 5 kids. Enough already with the posing naked.
Yeah,
and
we get it.
Yeah, and she's so naked. She's it's vagina. There's
everything is there.
Everything. Her hands covering her vagina. Enough already.
Yeah.
You know what? In truth, no matter what your age, I don't think it's appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm not into this whole sexualizing yourself for a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Can you think of something more creative? Every female celebrity and their mother, that is not a pun. That is actually true.
That's true.
And their mother.
Yeah.
Strips down for a photo shoot, puts oil all over their body, and has this come fuck me face, where it's
nothing is left to the imagination.
Yeah, and then those same celebrities complain when they hit an age where they're no longer considered sexy. Well, don't dress up like a whore or take naked pictures and sexualize yourself at your prime and then expect later on in your career that people are going to take you seriously when your entire image is based on sex.
Yeah, if you're wearing a whore's uniform, you're going to get called a whore.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry.
Yes. No, you never saw Meryl Streep in her heyday.
Thank you.
Dressed naked, posing with this covered in oil over under a heat lamp or something, sweating. Like it just.
But they give her all this grief for winning Oscars. Excuse the hell out of her for being talented.
Yeah,
she's doing her damn job.
Yeah, no, she's obviously super talented. But my point is just she didn't sexualize herself early in her career. She was a serious actress, and all these actresses that sexualize themselves, like, all right, well, you're going to be done in 10 years. Your career has a shelf life.
Exactly.
I'm not into it. It's so boring. It's the same thing with music
it's
videos.
Limiting.
Yeah, and it's so uncreative. Yeah. Think of something else. I mean, and again, her vagina's in the picture, right? Do you see it? Her hand is covering it. Like, call me a prude, but I'm not into it. I just think it's weird.
We know the Dish is a prude.
Oh man! And then did you see the Rihanna pictures of herself on vacation naked?
Like, I'm over it. Honestly,
yes,
I'm over her.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's so narcissistic on so many levels, and it kind of overlaps with what I'm saying about sexualizing yourself, but it's just narcissistic. Why aren't you? It's sort of like those people on Facebook who post all these pictures of themselves looking sexy, and none of them are with people.
Yeah.
Like, so basically, you're a narcissist. It's your portfolio on Facebook of your best pictures.
Yeah.
The only picture that should be you alone is the one in your profile. That's it. Everything else, Facebook is supposed to be a place of like friendship and hangout and camaraderie. Yeah. And then you see these bitches on Facebook with pictures of like
spread across the bed.
Yeah, with the proper lighting.
Boudoir pictures. Yes.
Come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, when you send naked pictures to a guy, really it's for yourself. You take the best picture of yourself looking naked in the right lighting and you go, look how hot I am.
Don't we know it? Don't we know it?
Oh, wait, I'm talking about myself.
That's how you get in the Dish, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, take naked pictures of myself in front of the mirror and send them to random boys. Hear that, Mom? You know she's gonna listen to this podcast and go, I don't like how you talked about taking naked pictures of yourself. That isn't very ladylike. It doesn't look good. All right? I'm just saying it doesn't look good. All right? I'm just going to tell you. And I know you're going to complain later, but it doesn't. It's not good. And my dad will go, you're never going to go mainstream with that mouth of yours. It's not becoming of a lady. He always says it's not becoming of a lady. And I go, when was I a lady ever? When I was 2, and even then. Was I girly then at 2? Did I wear flower dresses? I'm not sure. But yeah, the Rihanna pictures are just enough. Yeah. I'm done with her.
I'm over the pictures, honestly. It's just... ugh.
Speaking of pictures, did you see Demi Moore's return to Twitter?
Oh, she's back.
Oh, man.
Demi is back.
Can we talk about celebrities on Twitter for a second?
Let's do this.
Okay. I understand that there's a desire in the media today. There's a movement, if you will, to remove the barrier between celebrities and regular people. Mm-hmm. People want to feel like they know these celebrities on a personal level.
Yes, that they have a connection.
Yes. But there is a delicate balance between that and looking like an everyman.
Yeah.
You still have to have the celebrity mystique. So my recommendation to celebrities is when they post Twitter pictures, it should be behind the scenes pictures of whatever they're doing for work.
Right.
But it shouldn't be them eating a sub or in front of their bathroom. It shouldn't be too personal because then you ruin the barrier between celebrity and real people. Mm-hmm. So, no, thank you. I thought that was a good point too. No, I know. I'm brilliant. Speaking of narcissists. No, so this picture of Demi Moore, did you see it? It's her laying backwards on the bed.
Yeah.
It's just so desperate. No. You're Demi Moore, still is so beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And this, like, here I am laying on the bed backwards looking like a schlub. Enough, right?
Like a schlub.
A total schlub. She's a big movie star.
Yeah.
Come on.
She needs to get with it.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Take a red carpet picture or
Yeah.
behind the scenes of you talking to another celebrity, whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's still got the Mrs. Kutcher handle
Oh, God. Yeah.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
All right. Look, the time has come to remove the name.
it.
Yeah,
Let it go.
I'm just not into it. I'm not into this like big movie star. Here I am just looking like an everyman. You have to have the mystique, you know?
I completely agree with that.
All right. Next topic, which we just have to take a moment. Thank you. Do you watch? Here we go. Do you watch Maxim Shmerkovsky on Dancing with the Stars?
Do I? Of course.
So you know what this guy looks like.
Absolutely.
Okay. First of all, this guy.
And I'll just fly by all the pictures that you sent me.
Oh,
That's fine.
I see.
I'll just fly right by it.
Every week I send pictures of him with his shirt off to all of my friends.
It's true.
I don't understand why he's not a massive superstar. He should be modeling. He should be acting, right?
Well, I mean, ABC makes him look like the problem child.
Kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
He makes so much money on that show, though. I don't think he cares.
Yeah.
Would
You? Honestly, I'd be
No.
like, yeah,
No.
you're right. I am an asshole. I'll take my paycheck now. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Dancing with the Stars pays some serious money to their talent.
Yeah, they really do.
They've asked some celebrities, like I remember Howard Stern was interviewing David Alan Grier, and he said, why, with all the grief that the judges give you, why wouldn't you just walk off the show and quit? I mean, it's a stupid show anyway. And David Alan Grier said, because they pay you network money, which is true. That the network pays them, over $100,000 an episode. So for them, of course, they're not walking off the show.
Of course. Yeah.
And what's funny about Maxim too is he always badmouths the show when he's done, and then right around the time where he's supposed to get the pickup notice, for the audience who doesn't know what a pickup notice is, it's basically a letter that you're being picked up for the next season. And until you receive that pickup letter, you have absolutely no idea whether you're going to be picked up for the next season. So Maxim clearly, right before those pickup notices are supposed to go out, and he's sweating because he's not getting his, he starts to say, I really appreciate the show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally true.
But I have to say, I am not the one with the biggest crush on him. My mother calls me every Monday, like clockwork. She doesn't understand there's a time change, right? She's on the East Coast. Yeah. And she goes, are you watching that Maxim Chmerkovsky on Dancing with the Stars this week? And I go, Mom, no, there's a time change. Why do I have to explain this every week? What do you mean you're not watching? You have to watch. Oh, okay. I will watch. Oh my God, he had his shirt off this week. I almost died. Oh my God, he looks so good. He's just so hot. I go, I know. She goes, you know what? You should date him. And I go, listen, I would date him, but that's not going to happen. First of all, how would I even meet him? Aren't you the Dishmaster? What do you mean how?
Exactly.
Set it up. You could meet him. And then the thing about my mom is she can't wrap her head around the fact that someone might not be interested in me. So I go, Mom, he is like A-list hotness. And I'm confident, but come on, let's be serious.
Come on, you could wrap that up.
And what the fuck was that drop? Okay, so I go, that there's no way. What do you mean there's no way? What? There's no way. Of course he would go out with you if he met you. What is wrong with you? When did you get such a lack of self-confidence? Oh my God. And I'm just like, okay, you're right. He would go out. She just can't understand that someone wouldn't be interested in me. It's like, what? What are you saying?
When you're this awesome. I mean, really.
You know what? Thank you for saying that too.
You're welcome.
That is why
You're
you are my
welcome.
number two. My mom, you got to appreciate that my mom puts a substantial effort into boosting my not even effort. She just constantly praises me. That's what moms are supposed to do. But I appreciate it. Like,
but let's be real too. If she lived out in LA,
she'd hook it up.
Oh, no
I know.
doubt.
No, you're you're absolutely right. There's a
No
guy
doubt.
I recently liked who wasn't interested. My mom liked him. She met him and she goes, "What do you mean he's not interested? I never heard of such a thing. You must be misreading the whole situation. That's not possible." I go, "Mom, it's possible. That's what happened." "Oh, get rid of him then. He's obviously a homosexual." And I'm like, okay, not everyone who's not interested is gay. Well, I can't think of any other explanation.
Oh, see?
It's just like,
Best mom.
all right, fine. Then he's crazy. Then he's a lunatic. He should be checked
Well.
into an insane asylum.
Lunatic is accurate.
Yeah, it's just like,
Just saying.
thank
I
you, T.
agree with Mom.
Anyone who does not love me is a lunatic.
Is a lunatic.
Obviously.
This is why I surround myself with people who give me unconditional praise. So,
You're not following the rules.
yeah. My mom's like, "I'll set it up. I'll find Maxim Chmerkovsky, and the two of you will live happily ever after."
The
And I'm like,
Dishmaster
all right.
Chmerkovsky.
That guy is gorgeous, though. Do you watch that
Oh,
show
yeah.
at all?
I watch it on occasion. I was watching it during the whole Jaleel White verbally attacking his dance partner. thing.
First of all, allegedly.
Allegedly.
You know,
Allegedly.
yeah, I read about that too, that he like stomped on her foot allegedly, and then she yelled back at him, and then he yelled at her for yelling at him, and then it escalated. And then I saw him on The View talking about it, and he said it's so untrue. I don't know.
Well, and I saw them interacting on Bravo on the Andy Cohen show, and I just wasn't sure.
Well, whenever I read these stories, I got to be honest with you, I always believe them 100% of the time. I think that the tabloids are an escalated version of what happened,
Yeah.
but I believe they had a fight on the set. That's how
Yeah.
people found out about it.
And that's the thing, like you watch him too, and he looks like an asshole.
He does a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little douchey.
Well, you know what it is? Whenever somebody looks like they're too controlled,
Yeah.
it's like they're hiding something.
Yeah.
He looks a little too sort of controlled and has the right answer for everything.
Yeah.
And, I just, I understand that the tabloids have to do their job, but it's so completely 100% false.
Yeah.
It just seemed a little disingenuous when I
Yeah.
watched it. But who knows?
Who
Maybe it
knows?
was a total fabrication. I'm not
Maybe
sure.
I'm wrong.
But I do love my I do love my reality television. Speaking of reality television, next on the list, please drum roll this one. Did you see Lisa Lampanelli on Celebrity Apprentice?
Oh my God.
Okay.
She's insane.
I'm going to start by saying I think she needs to be medicated.
Yeah. Let's just start with that. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, so here's a recap of what happened.
She needs to get put down is what
So,
needs to happen.
oh, come on.
Okay,
We're
I'm
very-
just kidding.
We're
She
very
can change
positive.
her ways. She can change her ways.
All right, here's what happened. Lisa Lampanelli. So the Celebrity Apprentice puts a bunch of quote unquote celebrities in a room together, and they're given these business tasks, and they have to, they're separated into teams, and whoever wins, and whoever doesn't win, they go into the boardroom and they duke it out in front of Donald Trump, and he decides who to fire, and then he goes, "You're fired." So I love Donald Trump, by the way. He's just so, my mom always talks about how ugly he is, and it's
that
hilarious.
comb over.
Oh my God, he's so ugly. Like, you can't even get her to talk about anything else. Sometimes I'll send her clips of Celebrity Apprentice, and she'll call me and go, "Isn't Donald Trump so ugly?" And I'm like, "Actually, I think he's kind of funny, and funny goes a long way." "Oh, stop with the funny."
Funny, but it just not.
But anyway, so he gets so Lisa Lampanelli is on a team with Diana Mendoza, who won. What did she win? Which beauty pageant?
Wasn't she Miss Universe?
I think it might be Miss Universe. Yeah, and she is from. Do we know what country she's from? I can't remember.
Somewhere where they have her accent.
Somewhere Spanish speaking.
Yeah.
She has a heavy accent. She speaks Spanish. So Lisa Lampanelli hates her guts. And she thinks she's stupid.
She's had it out for her from the beginning.
Yeah, and I consider myself to be a pretty good judge of who's stupid. I just happen to think that, like, I can tell. And I do not think Diana Mendoza is stupid.
No.
And Lisa Lampanelli, in my opinion, is a bigot, like actually thinks Diana is stupid because Diana has an accent. I really, really believe this just from watching the interaction.
Yeah.
And I also think she's threatened by Diana's looks.
I think she's absolutely threatened by the beauty.
Yeah. And,
you know,
and Lisa, I heard an interview with her where she responded to this and said, obviously I'm not threatened by her looks because I'm friends with Aubrey O'Day, who's also really hot.
Aubrey is kind of gross.
Yeah. Like Aubrey.
Obviously.
Well,
She looks like you could catch a disease.
all right. Oh,
My apologies.
Listen,
Sorry.
we're not allowed to be
It's out
that
there.
negative here at the Dishmaster.
Not trying to be that negative. I just don't want anybody to get hep.
Okay. Oh man. I didn't say it, guys. I didn't say. Can't control my number 2. Okay. So Aubrey is, I mean, to your point, in a much nicer way, she looks a little rough around the edges. And so I would not even begin to compare her with Diana Mendoza. Like, Diana Mendoza is the type of girl who you look at and think, if I only look like you, the amount of things that I could accomplish in life.
Exactly.
Like, man, you're good looking.
She's stunning.
Stunning. And in that like universally, no pun intended,
Like a Miss Universe.
yeah,
really.
I mean, just there's no she's objectively beautiful.
Yep.
Okay. And I understand Lisa Lampanelli's shtick has nothing to do with looks, whatever, but I really believe she's threatened by her looks. So every single time they're paired up, Lisa Lampanelli, when she's project manager, will not. Okay, so project manager means you're in charge of the task. So she won't give Diana anything to do.
Nope.
And then she gets into the boardroom and says, Diana contributed the least to the project. And then Diana will say, I contributed the least because she shut me out. She wouldn't give me anything to do.
Exactly.
So on the last one, they had to do this like puppeteering competition.
Yeah.
And Diana wanted to control one of the puppets. And then Lisa says to the camera, I'd love for her to control one of the puppets, but no one can really understand her when she talks. And I'm sorry about that, but there's nothing I can do. And she will not control the puppet because of that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So she's an asshole.
So this is where I go to saying she's a bigot. Like,
Yeah.
I really, and then Lisa does a Spanish speaking accent to make fun when she goes, ay, papi, da da da, which again, I think is offensive. Diana doesn't say anything. And then Diana like builds the puppets
Yeah.
and they look great and everyone compliments them. And then Diana says something about wanting to contribute during the performance. And then Lisa just starts berating her. And she says, you're basically more or less, you're worthless.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which is just,
she's like,
you have to be a pretty asshole of a person.
oh yeah. Well, she says,
Trying to say it in the nicest way I can,
yeah,
people.
I mean, she just basically said, you're worthless. You're putting these puppets together. Anyone could have done that. And I'm always looking for stuff for you to do. And then Diana says, well, you're supposed to tell me what to do. So you're looking for stuff because you're not telling me what to do.
Yeah.
Lisa just berates her completely. And then Diana leaves the room crying. And then Penn Jillette, who does nothing. I mean, I've never
really
like
doesn't.
I've never seen anyone who just does nothing. Like, he just walks out and he says, you know, this is what he says into the camera. I was listening to Diana cry. And one of the things I learned is that if you just look at somebody and make it seem as if you're paying attention, that's all you need to do. And I thought, what? Are you a sociopath?
Wow.
Oh my God. So anyway, so then Diana, she gets into the boardroom, whatever, and they end up winning the task, so it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
But I heard this I think Lisa Lampanelli was on, I want to say Howard 101 on Sirius, because Howard Stern always has her on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And she called Diana Mendoza a spick, which, okay, let's stop for a second and think about this. Lisa Lampanelli has always used words like faggot and spick and all these things in her, comedy routine.
Yeah.
And she's always gotten away with it. And I think the reason she's gotten away with it is because she wasn't mainstream enough.
Yeah.
And then she gets on the radio when she's on Celebrity Apprentice. She's not going to get away with it anymore.
Exactly.
You can't. It's not funny.
Yeah.
I don't think
not
it's funny.
because honestly, if it was said in front of me, there would be a misunderstanding.
Exactly.
Like, it's just
exactly.
It's inevitable.
And it's also so Andrew Dice Clay, like dated humor.
Yes.
It's a shtick that is a dying shtick.
Yeah.
Comedy
the
is.
time has come and gone for her style.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Dice Clay got away with it in the 80s and it's over.
And it's over now.
Yeah. And I think that she appealed to a certain niche market and was making a lot of money off of it.
Yeah.
But once you become accountable to the everyday masses for using language like that, your career's over.
Yeah.
In fact, I think she did herself a disservice by going on Celebrity Apprentice because it's going to push her comedy back. No one's going to, people are going to push her to change her style.
Yeah. And I actually saw her on, what was it, Bethany Ever After, talking about it a little bit.
What'd she say?
About her experience dealing with the Celebrity Apprentice people and how it was mildly traumatizing and whatever. But I mean, she made the experience unpleasant for a majority of those people.
Oh, yeah.
And
then the other thing, too, is she starts crying in the boardroom.
Yeah.
Like she yells and then she starts crying.
Doing the weeping face.
She reminds me of, do you ever have that teacher in like elementary school who screamed like a lunatic at all the students?
Yes.
And everybody kind of looked at each other like, I'm uncomfortable.
I sure did.
She's that teacher. She's
Yeah.
a total lunatic.
Yeah.
And then she starts crying, but crying like
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump's someone who hates crying. I think he like is a deer in the headlights and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I didn't get into this business to make pageant queens cry. Like she said
Yeah.
something like that.
It was so weird.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
The fact that Diana Mendoza cried on that one occasion, despite the consistent abuse from Lisa Lampanelli, I mean, she's way more controlled.
Exactly.
You don't get to scream profanities at somebody and then cry like a lunatic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What you need to do.
Thank you.
Is
I thought that was a good point, too.
Woman up and apologize.
Oh, man. And then I don't know if you've seen Arsenio Hall on the show. Oh, my God. I don't know if
He's
he's
a mess. He's just
like,
a mess.
is this guy getting a bad edit? I mean, Arsenio Hall, I mean, to remind everyone, had an extremely successful television show.
Yes, he did.
And then he comes on Celebrity Apprentice, and you would think the guy is dumb as a box of rocks.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, even his facial expressions, he looks dumb.
Yeah.
It's just, what happened to you?
Yeah,
you know what he reminds me of? Like, you know your little dog when you shave off all their fur and then their personality
He
changes.
Yeah.
I think that when they shaved Arsenio's fur shaving was when they took his show. And now he's a shaved dog and he doesn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah, he's rather confused.
I mean, I wonder, everybody says he walked away from the show. My guess is that he wasn't, as I explained earlier, picked up.
Yeah.
And he didn't, I'm sure he didn't quit. I mean, no one's that stupid. You always think people quit when really they were fired and they just say they walked away.
Yep.
Like the greatest example is Brian Dunkelman from American Idol. Remember season 1, how Ryan Seacrest co-hosted with Brian Dunkelman?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and everyone goes, oh, Brian Dunkelman made the biggest mistake of his life leaving American Idol.
No.
He did not leave.
Yeah.
He was fired. As they say in the business.
Newsflash.
Not picked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arsenio, I just want to shake the guy and go, you used to have an amazing talk show.
Yeah.
What has happened to you?
What is going on with you?
It's ridiculous. All right. Speaking of ridiculous, next on the list, drum roll, please. How long is this thing?
Yes.
That was brilliant. Oh, man. From our drop specialist, Mr. Rob, co-founder of Brick and Mortar Studios, who's wearing a shirt that is advertising polygamy. I don't know what it means, but it says polygamy on it. All right. Okay. Let's just take a moment to talk about Howard Stern's lawsuit.
Please.
Because I find this to be very interesting. Have you read about it?
Briefly.
Okay. So Howard Stern's lawsuit was dismissed in summary judgment. Now, anyone who knows me knows I'm the biggest Howard Stern fan in the history of the planet. Like, love him unconditionally. I mean, just there's not enough love to, I mean, so much love.
For real.
Yes. So Howard Stern had his lawsuit dismissed in summary judgment. For those who don't know what that means, it means the judge said, you're out of your mind. For laymen. The judge in summary judgment, when you have your suit dismissed, says, "You've got to be kidding me."
You sound like a lawyer or something.
No. Stop it. Okay. So Howard Stern's contract. Let me just keep this quick for people who don't care about the law. Howard Stern's contract said he gets certain stock awards based on subscriber numbers. Meaning, if he hits a certain mark, let's say 6 million subscribers, he gets stock awards. Okay. Stern, when XM and Sirius merged, obviously the subscribers increased drastically. Stern argued that he was entitled to stock awards based on those increase in subscribers.
I'm rich.
Okay. So he had his lawsuit dismissed because the judge said, which I agree with, the subscribers were due to XM and not to Sirius,
Right.
and your contract is based on Sirius subscribers. Stern argues, well, but they're one company now, and you wouldn't have been able to merge if not for my presence. So you never would have gotten those subscribers if not for me, which is not a legal argument, by the way. So the judge said, there's a clause in the contract that accounts for a merger.
Yeah.
You get $25 million if you merge. And he was given $25 million. So anyway, the judge says the contract accounted for a merger and you were paid the money that you were owed in the contract for the merger. Stern says, no, I was owed that money and the increase in subscriber numbers. Lawsuit dismissed. Okay, that is the summary for the legally retarded. If you didn't get it, well, you shouldn't read the dishmaster.com because you're too stupid to be one of my readers. No, that's a joke.
No.
That's rude.
No, I know, you're right. Come on, that wasn't funny. That was very rude.
Let's take out the harshness, right?
Seriously though, like, on what planet do you think that if you're entitled to a bonus based on subscribers and those numbers were because of a merger that you're entitled to the money?
That would be nice.
Right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. However, I will say this about Howard Stern, which I love. Who sues their employer and continues to produce great content for their employer?
That's true.
I mean, this guy's got a set of cojones that are as big as planet Earth.
Yeah.
Right?
That is very true.
I mean, he's suing the company he works for,
Yeah.
and he's still producing great content.
Yep.
Who does that?
Rich.
Right?
Mr. Stern.
Wouldn't you like phone it in at a certain point?
At some point, you'd be like, fuck this, I'm out.
Well, I mean, I think that the company is sort of doing wrong by him in the sense that even if he's legally incorrect, give the guy money just to make the lawsuit go away.
Help
and
a dude out. 25 mil's not quite enough.
yeah, I mean, there's a saying in law school, by the time you get to court, someone's being an asshole. And I agree with that. They should have just given money.
Yeah.
I mean, he completely rescued the company, whether he's right or not. And he feels entitled to it. Give the guy money. I know they think that they already gave him a huge sum of money, but that's not true. They paid his company $100 million a year. And some of that money is based on stock awards. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's true that he got a ton of money. Right?
Yeah.
It's paid to his no, thank you. All right. Let's move on to our next legal subject, which is a personal favorite of mine. There is a lawsuit. Oh, sorry. I missed the end of that. There is a lawsuit for racial discrimination on The Bachelor.
Oh, isn't there, though?
All right. I'm going to hand the floor to my number 2 and ask your thoughts on this lawsuit. Please.
All I am saying regarding this is no, there haven't been any minorities on The Bachelor.
There's been Jews, though.
Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't say that with such distaste.
Okay. Listen.
The Dishmaster
I've got-
is a Jew.
I've got Jew blood running through my
No, that's
veins.
true.
I get it.
T is a quarter Jew.
However,
Yes. Go ahead.
they should be putting some
You have the
minorities
floor.
up here. Just because the blonde-haired, blue-eyed people are
Yep.
single doesn't mean that there are some colored folk that are single looking for love too and want to be crazy and go on a reality show and
You
get
tell 'em.
drunk and sleep with a bunch of people. All right,
Good
they
point.
want to do that too.
All right. Allow me to play devil's advocate for a second.
Do it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All right. First of all, could you, under this interpretation, sue every movie studio for not producing movies with an all-black cast? Because when you think about it, there are very few big studio movies with an all-black cast.
No, that's completely true.
So I think that the entertainment industry in general is probably racist if we're working under this interpretation of whether it's racist.
Absolutely. Like, I've had countless incidents where I hear about people going into casting calls and they see the color of your skin and everybody else that you're going against, and they're like, your chances are pretty slim that you're going to get this part. Yeah,
I think that the producers on ABC thinks if there was a black bachelor, the ratings would go down. Yeah, and in truth, they might go down. Who's to say? However, the lawsuit's a little ridiculous, only because it's not. It's an interpretation that would sack the entire entertainment industry.
It's true.
I do agree that it's like unfair and wrong that they've never had a minority on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
They've never had a Hispanic person on The Bachelor either.
No.
You know?
And that's the thing. It's like, it's just, for me, colored people in general.
Yeah.
I'm not saying just black people. I am saying Hispanic, Asian, everybody.
Right.
They don't cover the color wheel, and
well,
they
and
need
also,
to be giving people a chance here.
And also, even though there were Jewish people on The Bachelor, they never mentioned it.
No,
like Ashley Herbert, whatever the fuck her name is. She ended up marrying that guy JP.
Right,
he's Jewish.
He's Jewish,
and when you
don't find out about that until the hometown, and that was brief.
Yeah, because now you read articles and they talk about, well, could we really make this work? Because, we celebrate, obviously religion's a big deal in relationships.
Oh, yeah.
And they never really talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, they didn't want people to know he was Jewish.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how I see it. And then there was Jason Mesnick, who's Jewish.
Yeah.
And, it's an issue. It's definitely an issue, the fact that there's a religious difference and it never gets brought up.
It never gets discussed.
And when you're dating someone and you're of a certain religion and they're of another one, you bring it up.
Yeah.
It's not reality to not bring it up.
Yeah.
You have to say, how do you want to raise your children?
Yeah.
It's the biggest issue ever, and they never bring it up. So, yeah, like Jason Mesnick was Jewish, and he ends up with Molly, who's not Jewish. I mean, that girl.
I was like, whatever she is, she wasn't a Jew.
Definitely not a Jew. Never brought up, never talked about.
No.
And then there was Jillian Harris, who she was the last guy who came, I forget what the guy's name was, but he was in contention with that douchey pilot guy, Jake Pavelka.
Oh, right.
To be the next Bachelor.
Right.
He showed up and tried to win Jillian over at the last minute. It starts with an R, I think. But anyway, he was Jewish, and he was up for The Bachelor with Jake Pavelka, and of course they went with the super white looking guy.
Yeah.
Like he's a total cheese stick.
And doing the whole I come from a wholesome Texan family.
That guy is so gross.
Christian Texan family.
Although that is one of the best seasons of The Bachelor in history.
True.
It was a train wreck that you couldn't get away from.
Absolutely. Freaking wreck.
Did you see the reunion with him in Vienna when they fought and she walked off crying? Oh, it was television gold.
God.
And when they had that fight,
just a mess.
When they had that fight and they started arguing about, you don't like my dog and you this and that, and I thought, this is a real relationship because you and I both know that when relationships start to deteriorate, you start arguing about things like your dog.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Look, everybody knows that you don't argue about the big stuff. It's like everything gets on your nerves and you just want to beat someone up every second.
You are breathing so loud right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I like that reunion show where they were fighting, because I thought, oh, you're in a real relationship.
Yeah.
Totally. It was completely ridiculous.
It was crazy is what it was.
All right. Next on our list is some music news.
Music!
Oh, yeah. Did you or did you not see the Tupac hologram?
Oh, my.
Okay. All right.
Can I say that it freaked me the fuck out, or is that too soon?
No, please.
Okay.
Please.
Freaked me the fuck out.
I am so against these holograms. Okay.
I think it was an alien.
I just keep saying okay because I'm traumatized by it. I have nothing else to say. All right. There I go again. Did you see when Celine Dion did it with Elvis on American Idol?
Yeah.
And then there was another one.
I love Elvis.
I can't remember the other one, but okay. I saw the Tupac hologram and it is creepy.
Yeah.
Now, I understand the pros and cons. The pro being that it introduces Tupac to a new audience.
Right.
In fact, I saw that and I thought, who knew Tupac had such a stellar body? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
exactly. I was like, those abs.
Revelation.
Love you.
Yeah. I love a hologram. And then I thought, there's Snoop Dogg and Tupac. That's weird. I don't get it. I think it's weird. You can't resurrect him from the dead. So having a hologram is just, and now they're saying the hologram's going to go on tour. It's just so creepy.
Yeah, well, and the thing that kind of freaked me out was that how you could tell, like, the mannerisms just weren't natural. Like, they were, you know what I mean? Because it was a hologram. And so it just...
It's so weird.
It upset me a little bit because, like, I was concerned about
weird.
What was happening.
It is... I'm not into it. I don't get it. I think it's weird and creepy. And no, I understand his mom was supportive of it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. It creeps me out.
Listen, the man did great stuff, epic stuff that's going to be around for years.
Leave
to come.
it in the vault.
And
of
I feel like
you want to open it and look
there.
at it. Yeah, it's just so weird. And then Coachella.
You get sweaty and want to take your shirt off.
What?
Go tie it in a knot. Your choice.
Oh man, Coachella in general, by the way, annoys me. I'm not into the whole celebrities convening and dressing like they're cool for a weekend, right?
Yeah.
Just like
I want to be amongst the people.
Yeah,
Please.
like let's wear short shorts and smoke some weed and hang out.
Listen, I can say, like, Coachella is a good time with friends. Like,
have you
can
gone?
Go and have fun. I have gone.
Oh,
and it's fun. Like, if you play it out, just have a good weekend.
Can you tell me, since you've gone, can you please explain to me how it's set up? It's a weekend of a music festival?
Yes. So there are different spots, different stages set up that you can go to.
But
and there's, like, you can stay in a hotel, you can camp, you can bring RVs.
Okay, I still don't understand. So it's not one stage.
No.
Where
there
artists
are
are
multiple
booked.
stages.
So you get the program beforehand?
Yeah. So it'll all be set up for you. Like, they give you a schedule as to who's going to
So
be
you
where.
go, oh, I want to see Frank Ocean. It's at this stage at this time. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So you basically...
So you have an idea of which artists are going to be at the main stage.
So there's a main stage.
Yes.
And then other stages.
Other stages.
So is it all day?
Yep.
So why would you camp? I'm sorry. I'm just confused about why anyone would camp.
Because the hotel is
the Dishmaster is not a camper.
The hotel is farther away from the location. So you have to drive in. Whereas if you're camping, you just wake up and walk. A lot of people do that just so they can get a good spot.
Like on the lawn?
On the lawn.
This seems like a nightmare. I mean...
you wouldn't be a fan of it. I'm not going to lie. You wouldn't be a fan of it because...
Is everyone on drugs? Oh, it just sounds sweaty.
To say
it sounds
everyone
sweaty and gross.
No, accurate.
Thank you. It just sounds so gross.
Well, I mean, you're in the desert, out to have a good time and listen to some good music.
Obviously.
I guess. Do you feel like you're at a good concert when you go?
I mean, listen, I had a lot of fun because I went with a good group of friends to go with.
Uh-huh.
And I still had access to a shower, so I was fine.
What? A shower? Wait, you camped?
There was an RV.
Who got the RV?
A friend.
And there was a shower in there?
Yeah.
Did you read that Gerard Butler may or may not have been blown by a girl in a porta potty?
What? Where did that come from?
It's a true story. I mean, it's true that it's alleged.
All right. It was me. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Nice.
Just kidding.
I saw him in person.
Mom, I would never do that.
He is like a fraternity guy, right? Just like a big kid. You know what? Nothing turns me off more than celebrities partying at Coachella. It's just gross. The whole thing. As I said, it's so sweaty. Ugh. Ugh. I hate crowds. Ugh.
Ugh.
Okay. Yeah. No, the story was that he was seen going into a porta potty with a girl and then coming out of the porta potty with that girl for I don't know how many minutes, but my guess And listen, I don't know. My guess is that if it were true, he probably, and I don't know, but if he did in fact go into the porta potty with the girl, my guess is she blew him. That's all I'm saying.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey.
I mean,
Get down
have
with
you
the
no
get down.
shame? If you're a celebrity, you can basically just go anywhere and get blown, right?
Well, porta potty is just gross.
So gross.
She done left fingerprints and all.
That's got to be true, though. Like, who makes up that Gerard Butler was seen walking into a porta potty with a girl? It's just too creative.
I'm sure there's some accuracy to that.
There's gotta be.
There's some truth to that story.
Oh, God. You know, I
Yeah.
always tell my friends, anyone can fuck a whore. Anyone. You don't get to brag about that. Anyone. You want to fuck a whore, I'll set you up with one.
Exactly.
There's nothing exciting
There's
about
no
that.
challenge.
What was the Charlie Sheen quote about the whores?
Oh, that's true. Charlie Sheen said, you don't pay for the sex. You pay for them to leave after.
Hey-oh. There it is.
That, you know, that I actually understand.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't want to deal with all the how are yous. It's sort of like the text messaging of sex, right?
Yes.
You don't want the introduction. You don't want the conclusion. You don't want the how are yous. You just want the message.
Yeah.
And in that case, the message is sex. True or false?
Message received.
How long have we run, Mr. Brick and Mortar co-founder? What is our minute on this wonderful...
We're at 55 minutes.
I think that we should start wrapping it up. What do you think, Mr. Polygamist?
I concur.
All right. In conclusion, let's talk about what we learned here today. We learned that holograms are creepy,
Yes.
Coachella is sweaty, and anyone can fuck a whore. Hear that, Dad? I cursed. That's right. You heard me.
It's not becoming of a lady.
It's not becoming of a lady, and I am not a lady. So we are fine.
Obviously.
Thank you for listening to the Dishmaster.com's weekly pop culture review. I
For
will
real.
see you next week, and I'd like to thank my